Hi, Elizabeth here again. Today we're going to be doing a bronze golden look with dewy skin, a lot like Rosie Huntington-Whiteley often does, with a nice coral lip. Let's get started. Okay, so we just did the no makeup 10-minute. If you go back to that video and get your basics on, now we're going to bump that look up and do a warm, summery, bronzy JLo glow type of look. I am loving lately, sorry mine's a little well loved, it's the Lorac Gold palette. It's got nice shimmer shades as well as some matte dark ones to deepen, so we're going to go in with that. This is the MAC 217. A lot of brands make a brush this shape. It's nice to have that fluffy but tight bristle to get the darker shades right where you want them. So, glasses on. So you're going to push that shadow right in near the lash line and the outer edge of the eye. We're using that shade Undeniable right up here. You're going to get most of the color near the lash line and start to buff your way upwards. Always tap off your brush, it's going to help with fallout. Sometimes it can't be helped, but do your best to prevent that. It'll give you less work later. So we can decide how dark we want to go later. That's probably great for now. I'm going to do the same on the other eye. Turn towards me. So at first you're just going to be pressing the color in, and you can go back in circular motions and kind of blend it out. Keeping most of the color here, but you want to fade out those edges, so you can go inwards and also outwards once you have a little less on your brush. You can also go back with that trusty 224, which just has that transition shade, really nice medium shade on it, so you can go back in and kind of correct your edges with that as well. And any flat brush will do. You can use a fluffy one for this, but I think a flat is going to put the color right where you need it. I'm going to go in with Uninhibited and Unpredictable. Same thing, just tap the excess off and push that right onto the lid. It's going to be more of like a high beam gold than we did before with the neutral champagne color. Same thing on the other side. You can also actually get your brush wet and it'll create even more of a shine. So kind of, you're going all over the lid, but you don't want to cover up that darkness you just did. So keep it on more the inner 3/4, and then you can go back and kind of push the shimmer back towards the center. Perfect. I'm going to take that, any water is fine, but I'm going to use that rose water mist I used before. Get my brush a little bit damp. And I'm going to go in, this is a Tom Ford palette. Let's see what it's called. This is in Nude Dip. And I'm going to use this rose gold shade with my brush a little bit damp. And just press that right in the center of her eye. It's going to create a really beautiful highlight. And then a tiny bit of this one on the left here, just in the tear duct area. It's really going to open up and brighten her eyes. And if you ever do it a little too strong, you can kind of go in with your finger and just kind of push it in. You can also kind of erase with your fingers sometimes. I want to warm up this eye a little bit, so I'm going to take like a rusty red shade. Probably mix these two. This is the Vice Art palette in Neutral Matte. A lot of brands make these shades. I really like this warm matte shade for doing right in the socket. Just kind of brightens up her eye and makes the whole look a little more vibrant. So you're going to go right over the top here. Keeping it nice and sheer, you don't want too much. It's not the focus, it's just an enhancer. Perfect. That looks beautiful. I'm going to take a break from her eyes for a minute and work on her brows. Just want to fill them in a little bit. I'm going to be using the Anastasia Brow Wiz. This one is in the shade Caramel. come in a lot of different shades, and they're really nice and thin, so you can feather in the hairs. You can go full on with this product. You can also go nice and light and make it really believable. I'm kind of just sketching in where I want to fill in. She's got nice full brows, but everyone's got a few gaps here and there, so the nice thing is the other end has this little spoolie. No need to grab one more thing, it's all right here. It's great for throwing in your makeup bag if you're running late. Do your brows at a stoplight like me. We're going to keep most of the color out here in the tail and kind of just brush upwards. It's going to lift the whole eye and just frame her face. It's sometimes nice to keep the beginning a little unruly too. It looks a little more natural. So let me comb these up and I'll do the same on the other side. Let me just show you what we've done here. Perfect. So I'm just following the hairs she already has. And I kind of want to keep this line going, so I'll ignore all of these and then just kind of fill in right up here. Kind of find that arch a little bit more. And then you can begin to go downwards. I don't like them to be too dropped though, I really like more of a straight brow. So just keep it nice and high. And you can be a little more strong with the pencil in this outer part. Perfect. And straight ahead for me. The brows are now nice and groomed. They don't look too fake or anything. They look really nice and beautiful. Just kind of brings together the whole eye look. I'm going to do a little shading right under here. So let me take that Visart palette again. Probably going to go in with a mix of these two, just as kind of a shading underneath. You can use a pencil brush, or you can use another flat shadow brush. I love these because you can kind of go straight into the skin and get nice detail work without bringing it down too low. So again, these two. Any matte brown you have will work just fine. Let me have you look upwards. And you're going to tuck this right under the lashes. Close as you can, and make sure you bring it all the way out to the corner. I'm just going to bring this about halfway across, and then you can go in with the brush you used on top and kind of smoke that out. You can also use a Q-tip for this. So the same thing on the other side with your matte browns. Look up for me and face me just a little bit more. Perfect. So I'm kind of pushing it in, then we can go back and soften that edge again. Kind of go like right till that lashes stop, or even right before. It's kind of a good guide. And then a cleaner brush to just soften. Perfect. I'm going to go in with a little bit stronger of a highlight. I really love the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. Now this comes in powder and liquid. I have both. I kind of tend to go more towards the liquid. Just the same thing. I don't really like when powder shows up too much. I want it to look real. So I'm going to use one of my favorite brushes. This one's Real Techniques, and it's called the Angled Highlight Brush. It's nice and soft. They're synthetic hairs, so it blends liquids very well. And a little of this goes a very long way, so you can kind of blot it off on your hand first. And then let me have you turn your face a little. I'm going to keep it right on the high points and kind of do a C around the eyebrow. And make sure you really buff out that edge. If you have an obvious edge on anything, that's when the magic of makeup is lost, I feel. I want it to look effortless. Look up for me. I also want to just bring it right under here. Perfect. And then same thing on the other side. Circular motions are going to make this nice and sheer and give you a little more control with blending that in. And when the light hits her face, it's just so pretty. So I'm also going to take just what's left and go face forward just right down the center of the nose. And then right on the apple, or not the apple, the bow of her lip. It's going to make your lips look a little fuller and a little more sensual. I like doing a little right up here too. So now she's nice and glowy. Looks like she's been hanging out at the beach, but a little more glam. And there we have it. We've got a bronze golden look, a lot like Rosie Huntington-Whiteley does often on the red carpet and for her everyday. Not scared of that, a little extra color on the lip and just looking nice and glowy. Thank you.